What's up, everyone? I'm back. This is just a follow-up video to the first one I posted talking about the haunts that were coming up and some of the new things. Now I'm going to have this quick little skit, this little video about why you should go. Okay, I visited over the past 2 weekends. Me and my kids, we visited four separate haunts. All right, we visited Guthrie Haunts. We visited Twisted Minds. We also went to Wicked Force of Terror yesterday, and we went to Nightfall over there at Lost Lakes. Now, some of this video is going to be to tell you a little bit about these and why you should go. So starting with Guthrie Haunts. Went out to Guthrie. It's a little bit of a drive, hour and 10 minutes, and you get out there and you're thinking, man, this haunt's probably the only thing out here. Yep, you're right. Second thing you're thinking is, man, it's like all indoors. Is it going to be good? Yes, you're also correct. Awesome haunt. They put it on very well. I know we talked about them doing like a midway setup instead of a line where you wait all day or all night. They give you a ticket and that's color coded lights that flash and tell you when you're ready to go in. And let me just tell you guys, it was it was awesome. I had a lot of fun. I do not regret going out there one bit. I've been out there for several years in the past. No different now. In fact, this year I think the actors engaged you a little more. You know, you've got some pretty famous characters out there that have been nominated as #1 haunt actors across the United States. You've got Mr. Giggles, who's one of their actors. You've got Toxic, the clown, sorry. Awesome. You know, from the beginning of the haunt, getting in, lines weren't long at all because you're free to wander about until it starts. And then so you get in. Always an awesome job. Walked in. They kind of go through some of the rules with you, you know, the basics, and then you get to go. And let me just tell you that it was an amazing experience going through there because even if they're not allowed to touch you because of COVID, which is responsible, they did a great job of engaging you, following you. It's not like that you just walk upon a scene and then they scare you or they get the drop on you and then that's it. Then they quit. No, they follow you through there. Some of them push you through the haunt a little bit, you know, to sort of speak, get you moving, but they engage you the whole time. I don't think there's a good 3 seconds where I wasn't being engaged by somebody. The actors did an awesome job, and none of them broke character. I mean, it was an amazing experience. The lighting, the music, some of the cool things they've got going on in there as far as like the sideshow stuff. Like I want to give out too many details, but they've got some pretty trippy elements there. I think it's worth the money, worth the drive. Go, just go, because you're not going to regret it. I promise you 100%. John and them out there do an amazing job with the actors. They do those classes all year, and it really shows because those actors, they don't have to worry about getting into character and getting into that mindset because they've been there all year. Had a great time. You know, we got to talk to some of the people and how they run it, and I don't know. We'll go back. I don't care how far it is. It was 3-4 hours. We'd go back because it is an awesome haunt. There's a reason they've been around for years, and yet again this year, same way. So Guthrie Haunts, go out there and check them out because it was awesome. So, second haunt I want to talk about briefly is Twisted Minds out there in Wheatland, and this is a smaller haunt, family-run haunt, but yet again, awesome, especially for the price. It's like $10, $10. You go out there, and they'll get you. They engage you very well. Some of they do some things better than anybody else. Some of their scenes, just the way, because they're so closed in, you don't have a lot of space to really move around in some of the areas, and they made it that way. You know, they made it that way, so you are in fact captive, and you're just kind of at their mercy. And the way they, I don't know, I said it before, but the way they get at you, the way they approach you, is pretty awesome. You know, the way you wouldn't expect somebody to be around this corner, the way they're really good at getting the drop on people, meaning you're focused on one thing and all of a sudden, boom, that's not really it. That's just catch your attention so they can get you, and they do a good job. Like I said, for the price, even if it was $20-$30, it'd still be worth it. I mean, awesome haunt. I don't know. I mean, it's worth the trip, especially if you live in this OKC area. Go to that one too. Reach out to them, get some tickets, go have fun because they run it really well. I mean, we walked up to the queue line. There were some people in line, but they move you through in a pretty fluid fashion. There's not like a huge long wait. They didn't really incur any problems in the haunt. They just run a tight ship, and it shows. I mean, you get in, you get what you came for, which is to get scared, to get jumpy. Even if you don't get scared, you kind of marvel at some of the scenes and some of the decor and just the actors' abilities to get inside your head, because some of them do just that. They've got some pretty awesome characters out there, and then I expect nothing different for them next year or the next year or the next year because they are just awesome at what they do. So go check out Twisted Minds because that's worth your money. It's worth your time. Just like Guthrie, you can't not go. It's just awesome. Third haunt that I want to talk about, we went out last night, you know, ranked number 30 in the nation, Twisted Minds. And Twisted Minds, Wicked Forest of Terror. They always do an awesome job. You know, they changed the haunt a little bit as far as the location. It's still in the same spot by Epic Paintball, but it's just shifted a little bit to the west a little, and that terrain is definitely a little more ambiguous, meaning you're going to be trying to make it through the terrain and you're not going to realize who's in front of you, who's around you, and that's how they get you. The way it's set up this year is different from last year. Obviously there's some elements that they don't have anymore, but they made up for it in the way the haunt is, because you get focused on, oh, I see something coming up, but you totally forget about everything else and the people around you, the people that are there to get you. And they're pretty intense. You know, they've got people out there like stalking the lines, and they're some awesome actors. They engage you. I watched personally the guy out there. He just engaged everybody that came up. Didn't matter. He wasn't selective. If you're there and you're there to have fun, he's engaging you. He's on you. And it was a lot of fun to watch him work and how the people reacted. I saw people running out of the end of their haunt, running. I don't know. Hopefully everybody's okay. Nobody trips, but like people running out of their haunt because they were so terrified of some of the stuff. Because in some of those spots, I'll just give you a little hint, or just a little Easter egg. You don't have time to think. You know you got to go forward, but what's over here? Why am I was somebody going to get a drop on me here? Going to get the drop on me there? The way they're haunt set up, you just have no idea. You have no idea what's coming, and it's a lot of fun. You know, the actors are intense as usual. Like I said, I don't know what they promised them or what they're giving them or what they're feeding them, but they're good. They get intense. I said it last year, I'll say it again. All their actors, they get into character and they don't stop. They don't break. You know, they're going to break you before they break character. I said that last year. I'll say it again this year because I'm going back again. Just an awesome. And they're awesome people to work with. You know, the owners, and they're out there very, very, very in tune to what's going on in their haunt. You know, they're not just lackadaisical and just kind of take a back seat. No, they're there. They're always running around. It's kind of chaotic, and I'm amazed to see how they work it, because they've got to keep control of 60 actors that are out there. Anything that goes wrong in the set, which I wasn't aware of anything, but it was a lot of fun. We're going to go back. I went with my kids and they had a great time. I would just kind of stayed in the back a little bit and watched them. They got them a lot, and it was funny. Some of the funniest screams and just reactions ever, because they weren't expecting half of this stuff. They get focused on this thing up front. They see coming. Oh, I see a scene coming. I hear some music, but that's not it. That's just the distraction. And all of a sudden they have three people on you that you didn't even know they were there. It's pretty good. It was a lot of fun. We're going to go back. That's all I really got there, because it was just intense. It was a lot of fun, and it's going to get better. This was opening night for them, essentially, like for the public, I think. Oh, it was awesome. We're going to go back for sure, because these haunts, all they do is just get better. That's all they do. They start baseline and get better. And I'll talk about at the very end why we went at opening night for almost everybody. The fourth haunt I want to talk about, Nightfall, Haunted Territory. These are the same guys that were out there off of 39th Street, and now they're at Lost Lakes. And so what you've done is you've taken these guys that built a set from pallets and made it amazing with detail, and went out to Lost Lakes, and they have so much to work with. It's the coolest setup. You know, you just feel... Let me just say this. You feel like you're in the scene. Whatever movie that you thought you saw, you know, you saw Jason Voorhees, you saw Pumpkinhead, you've seen any of these other movies, you know, with these classical serial killers, and even like Psycho, old school stuff. You know, they do it so well. You feel like you're in the movie, the way the scene is set up. There's some pretty cool stuff out there. Like, I'm not going to lie. My kids were kind of like, oh, because they walk into a scene and you don't even have to know who the serial killer is. You don't even know. You just see the scene. You start to piece stuff together, and that just builds that anticipation, because you're waiting for that one character, that one serial killer to come out after you. And they do it. They do it really well. I don't know where they're finding some of these people, like I said, because there's some pretty big people out there, big guys that play these parts really well. Because we always figure these serial killers, these old school psychopaths, they're very large, imposing figures, and they found them. They found those people because, golly, I mean, I'm a small guy. I've seen some people that are 5'7", 5'8", 6 foot are going to get dwarfed by some of the stuff out there. It just makes it that much more intense, because you're like, oh, this feels like the movie, and you're looking for people on stilts, or you're looking for people that are raised on platforms to make them look bigger. No, they're just that big. They're just that big, and they play the parts really well. Menacing, right there in your face, very methodical in the way they stalk you. It's everything you would expect from if you were actually in the movie. If the movie was able to be put in real life and you were there, that's what it would be. They killed it, you know. And this is opening night for them, so they're still working out stuff. They're still working out some of the bugs and seeing how people make it through the haunt and the trail. And they were like, well, it's opening night and we're still working on some stuff. It was awesome. I mean, hands down, it was just amazing. Like I said, the scenery, the costumes, the music, and they have so much space to work with. You're giving these people, before they had the wood palette set, and now they've got all this open space to deal with. You've got elements like water and tons of trees, and they did very well. They freaking killed it. I don't know what else to say about it, but Rod and them out there, it shows they've been working on this, and a lot of this stuff is well thought out. They have some of the old horror, and then they brought in some newer stuff, which I highly appreciate, because some of our generations don't understand some of the old school horror. You know, Pumpkinhead, Scream. Well, Scream isn't that old, I guess, but I mean, I'm talking like Psycho from back in the day, and they have all that, and then they have some new stuff. I won't tell you what. You got to go find out. But they just brought it all together. I mean, it's coming full circle to be a complete tour of horror movies from the very beginning until almost relatively current. So everybody can relate to it. Even if you don't know some of these old school horror movies or these serial killers or psychopaths, you'll know after you leave because you're pretty much in the movie. Awesome. We're going to go back. Like, no doubt we're visiting all these haunts again, but that's one I do want to go back to again. I want to go back to all of them, but something about that, my kids even mentioned it. They're just like, oh, I just felt like I was in the movie. It's like, yeah, they blew it out of the water. So back to what I was talking about earlier, the reason I wanted to go opening night, because like I said, these haunts only get better. They start opening night, they're still working out stuff, trying to figure out how they're going to get to you, and then it only gets better. So I wanted to see where the baseline was, to see how far they come mid-season, because I tell you what, the way all these haunts are now is probably not how they're going to be in 2 weeks. They're going to be better. The actors are going to be more in the mode. Not that they're not already there, but they're just going to fine-tune stuff, and it's just going to make it that much more intense. It's just going to be, I think it's going to be chaos, especially with places that now, like, you know, Nightfall has all this space. You know, Wicked Forest of Terror has a new terrain, which is it's a lot of fun to navigate too. It's, I don't know, it adds to it with them, because not only are their actors intense and the old terrain was kind of flat, this one is not so much. So don't wear any high heels. I think they tell you that. Don't wear any shoes that's, you know, they have like soft corners or edges on it, because you're going to need to be able to navigate the ground. And you're not going to get hurt. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the terrain is it's rugged, and it makes it that much more fun. It was just awesome. And the fog around there, yet again, some areas had just a crazy amount of fog. Some areas didn't, because the way it's built or the way it's set up. But either way, there was some areas where you couldn't even see like what was in front of you until they were right there. That made it a lot of fun. So they're just going to continue to get better. Like, just it's going to be stupid. It's going to be a lot of fun. Same thing with Twisted Minds. They're going to be crazy good. Just like I said, because the actors, some of them are new, some are old. You know, The Sanctuary wasn't doing one this year, so some of those actors had to find a new home, and they want to gravitate to some of the best haunts. And that's how these actors, some of them end up at Twisted. They end up at Guthrie Haunts. They end up over at Wicked Forest of Terror, and some of them end up at Nightfall. And so getting all these personalities and these people to mesh and work well is a challenge in itself, which I don't even want to go through the dynamics because I don't understand it. But when the way they're running them and how they set them up, they do a good job of getting people where they need to be in a character that best suits them to scare the living shit out of you. And it is a lot of fun. This season's going to be crazy because we're going to go back and visit some of these, maybe a couple new ones, but these four for me are my staples around here because they never let you down. They do a great job. They work hard all year. And y'all should go check them out. I mean, it's a small price to pay to have a lot of fun. I don't know, just go check it out because you're not going to regret it. You're going to scream. Some of you may cry. Some of you may run. Some of you may do all of it. At the end of the day, you're going to have a great time. And these people are going to make sure of it. Every single one of them are going to make sure that they get in your head, that maybe some of you may even lose a little sleep. We'll find out. But anyway, that's my short, quick video about the new haunts and why you should go check them out. So I hope that you do. Go fill their lines up. Go buy the tickets. Go have the fun. Go fill the lines up and, I don't know, just enjoy yourself because, I mean, it's October. You got the rest of the month. Watch this video. Go check it out. I'm outie.